All right, let's do some news.
All right, let's do it. So obviously this story's been walking around about Kristi Noem's cross-dressing husband, but apparently this came out of a gentleman named Mark Caputo, a White House reporter and CBS News contributor, who talked about how this story was broken by an illegal immigrant who was out for vengeance. Did you see any of this story?
No, okay. I mean, I saw the story. Man, sexual proclivities. First things first. We should all give thanks to our lucky stars. Now you go, oh, you know, we're healthy. We want people to be healthy. You don't want them to have a cleft palate and a heart disease and, you know, born with half a lung or something like that. But then as you start moving up the food chain, you go, well, thank God I got a full head of hair at age 61 or whatever these things are. We never give thanks for not having cuckoo sexual addictions, like just being attracted, just being straight. That's a gift.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not so much in the modern era, but I'll throw out, you know, our country and society, living in the Middle East, you know what I mean? So you're not trapped in the wrong body. You're not hankering for cock. You don't need to watch German chicks step on cockroaches so you can come.
Yeah.
And that's a fucking blessing.
Have you been looking at my web browser again?
Yes, I was wanting to bring that up with you. Yes. Yeah, so just not being a weirdo, not being a pedophile.
Yeah.
Like literally like I'm attracted to 9-year-old boys. So could you imagine a fucking burden? I got to put a weird sports bra on like a Canadian shop teacher and get out there and deep cut reference to that guy, and then take pictures so I can orgasm, you know, talking to other dudes. Like it's so nice not to have that burden.
Not to have any of that. I agree. Yeah. Having the people out there that, you know, there's a DTF St. Louis. I don't know if you've seen any of this on HBO at all. Great show. Jason Bateman is in it. But a lot of it is about, you know, watching your wife get plugged by another guy and all of this stuff. And man, just having regular hetero sex with another person of the opposite sex is that, for me, that feels enough.
Well, think about what P. Diddy's missing out on right now. Think about what Harvey Weinstein is missing out on right now.
Yeah.
Think about Bill Cosby's legacy. They could have just been flying private and being the toast of the town.
Yeah. When you see the guys out there, you know, I always think about Danny Masterson. You know, that guy had like the Hollywood by the balls. You know, he could have had any woman that he wanted, but he chose because that is just what is inside of people. Aaron Hernandez, you're never going to get that out of him. Yes, you are one of the best tight ends in the NFL, but at heart, you want to walk around and murder people, and that's who you are. Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, crazy story. Trump wages war on California insurance giants. I don't know if you saw this tweet that came out, I guess off of, Truth Social Post, but President Trump took aim at insurance giant State Farm and other providers by accusing them of abandoning Southern California that was devastated by last year's wildfire. He says people have been paying them large premiums for years, only to find out that when tragedy struck, these horrendous companies were not there to help.
Well, look, the thing about insurance companies, and I'm sure this is true, but insurance companies make their money insuring things.
Yes.
And like gas companies make their money refining oil and turning it to gas and then selling it. And there's and commercial builders make their bones building stuff. And this is all stuff they would happily do in California, but if you regulate them too much, then they're not going to do it because it becomes too burdensome. So we just drive away industry and business, and then we get mad at the industry and the business. So our blue way of approaching life is we're going to defund the police and say nobody is illegal. We'll have cashless bail and so on and so forth. And then you can try to run your CVS pharmacy on the corner, but it's going to be looted all the time with these mobs. And we're not going to do anything about them. And we're not really going to arrest anybody. And then shoplifting is going to be a huge problem. Half of your inventory is going to be stolen. You have to lock everything up in cages and everything. We're not going to prosecute or police or do any of that. And then at some point, CVS goes, fuck it, we're moving out of Oakland. And they go, whoa, where are you going? This is some kind of racist shit. And where are these people going to get their prescription meds and condoms. It's like CVS is in the business of making money. They're not a charity. They would like to. They opened a store in Oakland with the presumption of making money. After 10 years of losing money because you guys can't run a city, then they leave. And then you usually get angry at them. Like Gavin Newsom wants to know why Chevron's gouging and charging more money for gas or whatever. You overregulated it. The insurance companies leave. Elon Musk leaves. Like everyone leaves. So insurance companies want to insure and did insure and worked in California for a long time insuring. But if you make it too difficult for them to do it and you basically offer, how would one insure homes in the Palisades? That's their job. Their job is to insure the homes. Your job is to not have an empty aqueduct and clear the forest.
Yeah.
But you don't clear the forest or fill the aqueduct, and you want these guys to keep insuring you in the place that's going to burn down because they're aware of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's also the footage that comes back that sort of sets a narrative, too. Like you watch the documentaries about Hurricane Katrina, and these poor people have lost their homes of 40 years. They come back and they go, I know you guys got flood insurance, but it wasn't a flood. It was the levees broke, so sorry about that. We're not going to cover that.
They don't want to pay anybody.
Of course,
they're in the business of you paying them and them not paying out. And I'm not really defending them because they're doing what any business... Look, Chevron is not charging $2.75 a gallon. They're charging $6.75 a gallon because they're just in the business of going, well, if you want to make it harder for us, we'll just pass that along to the customer. You know, so we make everything difficult. It's impossible to do business in California, and so businesses don't want to do business here.
Absolutely.
All right, what's next?
4 people connected to a company hired by New York City to operate homeless shelters for migrants were arrested Tuesday as part of a federal corruption investigation.
You're from Minnesota. What do you know about this? Stay in your lane, bro.
The charges Tuesday focused on 2 leaders of the nonprofit Bragg's Home Care Corporation who were accused of stealing more than $1.3 million from the taxpayers-backed organization, and 2 subcontractors who, in the indictment, say paid bribes and kickbacks to the men in exchange for contracts worth millions.
Look, obviously this is going to be the new subject for our society for a while. It's going to be all this insane waste and abuse and fraud because it has to be this way because we cannot help it.
Yeah.
So somebody brought this up, but it's true. You go to Stanford and you're just a 19 or 20-year-old kid and you're a good kid and you did your homework and you took the SATs and oh, man, we got to get more people of color in positions of power. So you go to Stanford, and you're a good citizen. You did what you had to do to get to Stanford, and you studied, and you did well on the test, and you did extracurricular activities, and now you're at Stanford. And so you go through your first semester at Stanford, and you're doing your homework, and reading your books and being a good student, and you go through your second year, let's say, and then your third year comes around, and your roommate says, you got finals coming up, and, they only give you an hour to do the finals, so I'm really going to stay up all night. And the roommate goes, I get 3 hours to do the finals. And you go, why do you get 3 hours? No, it's 1 hour. No. If you get a note from your doctor saying you're on the spectrum of Asperger's, then you get more time. Even guys can take it the next day and stuff like that. Really? You just get a note? Do you have this disease? I don't know, but you just go in and get a note. You can turn the note in, and then you can get an extra hour to do your homework. Well, next thing you know, that's what everyone does.
Yeah.
Now, this kid's not a bad kid. He's not a criminal. He's not a thief. He's not a gangbanger. He just saw an opportunity, took the opportunity.
Yeah.
You start taking money and spreading it around that way, everyone's getting in on it.
Yeah.
It will be everywhere.
Ask any person who has ever been a, say, entrepreneur or self-employed about their taxes, and they will they will justify every single penny they possibly can to get the most back. Absolutely.
Yes, and we used to think women wouldn't engage in this. Turns out they do it more.
Way more.
We used to think black people wouldn't do it. Turns out they do it more. So this whole thing, I was like, we have women of color in position. They'll do it as fast as any red-haired dude from the 50s would do it.
Yeah. Turns out just people are, doesn't matter what sex, race, whatever it is, man. It's all the
Everyone
same.
wants free money.
Absolutely.
Investigators are also probing whether city council member Farrah Louise, a woman, and her sister, Debbie Louise, an aide to New York Governor Kathy Hochul, accepted bribes and related. Here's the whole thing. Everybody will abuse the system. Now that we understand that, we must deconstruct the system completely.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So you were talking about this the other day, but wanted to bring this up because I have a personal story that actually comes with this. So why Tiger Woods won't hire a driver. So Tiger Woods has previously declined to hire a driver for himself due to privacy reasons, a source tells People exclusively. The professional golfer, 50, was arrested and charged with DUI with property damage in Florida on Friday, March 27th. Woods doesn't want anyone to watch over him or know what he is doing, is what this insider says. Now, that was a point that you were making the other day, that he doesn't want people up in his business and knowing where he's at and what he's doing. There was part
of it is, I can't tell you how many times I've Ubered to the airport and like been on the phone in the back of the Uber and not wanted to get into whatever subject, where the guy's sitting there.
Yeah.
Now, they could invent the quiet car and it just had the shield in between. Remember during COVID, they'd hang cellophane and stuff up, and you'd see like 9 inches of daylight on the right, flapping in the wind. Yeah. And but that was good science at the New York cabs. You could do a partition, and Tiger, you could probably get one of his Range Rovers, right? And for probably under 20 grand, you could have it outfitted with a partition that was like double paned, soundproof. Tiger could go sit in the front, have you go yell in the back, and you couldn't hear him. But someone's dropping him off at his Guma's house at 3 a.m. That's another situation.
Yes. Yeah. So the reason why I brought it up is you were discussing this, that people would say, like, why doesn't he just get a driver? He's rich. He can afford a personal driver. Why not? There was a professional athlete from Minnesota. I won't say his name. I don't know if he wants this out there, but a friend of mine and a good acquaintance became his personal driver after this athlete's second DUI. And they basically, for the first 6 months, he would just run him to the bank or run him to the store, whatever it was. But all of a sudden, one night, he was like, hey, man, we want to go out for a couple of drinks. Why don't you show up around 7 o'clock, pick us up? Next thing you know, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. He's still driving this athlete and their friends around. And at the end of it, the guy was like, well, all right, you passed. So what I wanted to do was, for the first 6 months, was I needed to trust you. I needed to get you into the circle. So that's why we've been kind of slowly, gradually getting this relationship to where I can trust you. And now this is what it really is. So if you want to be on board with this, this is what it pays. You will have all these secrets, but on top of it, I do need you to keep your mouth shut. And this guy said, absolutely, man, where do I sign? And was on board with it. So hiring a driver you don't know, I get. But bringing somebody into the fold that you trust and you make them part of the crew, now that's a different story.
Yeah, it's just that part where you have to cross over into, this is my girlfriend's house, not my wife's house.
Yeah.
That, and here I'm smelling like I do a little booger sugar or whatever that is.
It's hard, yeah, because I've had other comics that I've gone on the road with where I go to their house to pick them up, and I go, hey, I didn't know, is your girlfriend home? And then they get a weird look on their face, and then we get out in the car and they go, by the way, home girlfriend is upstairs, road girlfriend, we're picking her up at a Walmart.
Yeah.
And then they come on the road for the weekend, and then we drop her back off at the Walmart when we get back to town. And then he goes back to his girlfriend's house. And now I'm stuck with this secret for the rest of my life.
You're talking about Jeff Foxworthy?
Yeah, obviously, yes. Yeah. You might be a cheater if you pick up your girlfriend at a Walmart in a Dodge Charger.
Well, I have a thought. I don't know if you have another story or not.
No.
Okay. I have a thought. And Dawson, you're going to be in on this thought. You're going to like this thought. So there was a Colorado Supreme Court ruling, and it was about I don't know, trans kids and having conversations, counseling and whatever. And Colorado's gone fucking nuts. Like when I was a kid, Colorado was like, Denver Broncos and Rocky Coors.
Yeah, John Denver, man. Yeah.
And that was about it. They become progressive fucking crackheads over there. I don't know why, but it's not good. And obviously they're going to ruin Colorado. But they were fighting. There's a Supreme Court. And I'll see if we can figure it out. But basically, they were saying if your kid thinks he's trapped in the wrong body or she's trapped in the wrong body and they're 15, the parents can sit with a counselor and clergy and whatever and have a discussion about this with the parents there. Of course, that was a bridge too far for Colorado. They want all that outlawed because they want every kid to get their genitals mutilated before their 18th birthday. March 31, 2026, the Supreme Court ruled 8-1, Childs versus Fernandez, finding that Colorado's ban on conversion therapy for minors likely violates the First Amendment. The decision of the court sided with Kaylee Childs, a Christian licensed professional, whatever. Okay, so so all right. But here's what I want to say. And tell me what you guys think of this. It's 8-1. It's 8-1. So these are Supreme Court. These are the law of the land. When you take the Supreme Court and you go total amount of law experience, including law school and clerking for this and working for your own firm and all that kind of stuff, you take those 9 people, you've got 400 years of law study, right? I mean, you got 9, some are a little younger than others, but some are older. You have literally, at a minimum, like 300 years of law experience, right? Ketanji Brown Jackson is a progressive. She's not in there to apply the law. She's in there because she's a progressive, right? And when we do the Supreme Court, we have our gentleman's agreement, which is you're not here to support this side or that side. You're here to interpret the law and give it thing. But we all know politics gets in the way, and so people tend to lean this way or lean that way. And I get it. You're a fan. Can't help but cheer for your team. But we need you to make like sober, qualified decisions. So if you are so partisan that it is 8-1, it's 400 years of experience against your 19 years. But if it's 8-1, you got to go.
Yeah.
Because you've showed yourself for being partisan at that point.
Yeah.
Because everyone else has agreed to the rules. They've stuck with it. And so here's what I'll say. There should be a rule in the Supreme Court that if you get too many 8-1s, or 7-2s, you got to go. And you would knock this shit off. You would knock your partisan bullshit off, and it would work the other way, too.
Sure.
Like if it was all a bunch of stuff and you were the one conservative who sided with the NRA. You get caught in too many of those, we'll throw you out. In boxing, if you didn't see the same fight the other two guys saw too many times, you're not a judge anymore. They'll throw your ass out.
Yeah.
Because they go, we all just watched this fight. We all just saw what happened, and we all just picked the winner, and you went the other direction. And that can happen, but if it keeps happening, you may be a bad judge.
Yeah. That's why even baseball has gone to automatic balls and strikes. And boy, that has got to suck when you get 2 or 3 of those called against you in a row. That's got to hurt a little bit. And it makes you realize that you're not as good as your job as you think
I think she's a partisan hack. And by the way, the right is a little bit smarter. They're not going to get into an 8-1 situation because you look like a dope. You look like what you are. But if there's enough lopsided stuff that you're on the losing end of, and it could be on either direction, we'll boot you out.
Yeah.
And that would make you measured and more measurable because you have the supreme law interpreters in the world, and 8 of them saw something and you saw something else, which means you didn't see it because there's nothing they didn't think of. It just meant you are progressive who agrees with whatever retardism Colorado's trying to float up our asses this week. And for that reason, you don't need to listen to Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Yeah.
She's compromised.
Yeah. And these assholes that say that The Wizard of Oz is not a good movie, or, you know what I mean? Like all these people that go out there. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Toy Story was freaking fantastic, all right?
The Pixar stuff is written better than live action stuff.
Absolutely.
All right. April, Salt Lake City, 10th and 11th. Wise Guys. 2 shows there on the 10th and the 11th, and then San Diego, Solana Beach, belly up, doing some live stuff there, stand-up shows and live shows. Phoenix, Desert Ridge Improv coming up. That'll be April 17th through the 19th. You got adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. What do you got, Rudy?
Let's see. This weekend I will be at Bananas Comedy Club in Rutherford, New Jersey with our good friend Jonathan Kite. The following week I'm going to be at LA Comedy Club at the Stratosphere in Las Vegas, and then I'll be in Phoenix with you.
So, till next time, Adam Carolla for Rudy Pavich and Landon Donovan saying mahalo.
Hey, we got some news today. If you want any, makeup mogul Jeffree Star ripped progressive parents for showing gender and transgender issues to their kids as fucking weirdos.
Really?
Yeah, Jeffree Star's got a clip here.
That's why. Why are we putting in cartoons trans flags and all this stuff that and that's my personal opinion. I don't agree with it. I think it's too young. I don't agree with 8-year-olds wearing makeup either. It was never sexualized and weird and like, why does a 5-year-old watching a Netflix cartoon show need to know about that right now? Why? And then let's just really take it there.
Let's take it there.
Why are we encouraging our kids to be a different gender and feed them false information when they're so young? So this is what I said recently that people really understood. When I grew up, and I started looking different, right? My mother encouraged me to just be myself. When I started wearing makeup and being more feminine and wanting to do certain things, it wasn't, oh my God, Jeffrey needs, what do they call it now? Gender affirming care. I'm done. She let me be myself. She didn't push me to be anything. Just like when you're a tomboy, did your mom try to, get you a surgery to be you know what I mean? Did she cut your tits off because at 13? No. So nowadays, it's all these fucking weirdos telling their kids, "Oh my God, you like a Barbie? You're a woman." No, that's just a little boy experimenting, not knowing what the fuck he's doing. Why?
Well, it is it's so weird. I did know a woman who had a kid that was like transgendered, and I didn't give a fuck, because here's the bottom line. No one gives a shit about you, but you guys are all narcissists, and she had to work it into every fucking conversation about her transgendered kids.
I know, yeah.
You'd go, you want to go to the Chipotle and get a burrito? I have a transgendered. Yeah, I just asked you if you want a fucking burrito, bitch. I don't ask you about your fucking transgender, but you're a narcissist, and so you have to weave it in. So I'm starting to wonder.
It's a gay man that presents very feminine. He has like woman style. He's a makeup icon. This guy is like big time the original influencer. And he's had up and downs, and this is kind of drawing a divide between the ultra sort of progressive people where on gender roles, and regular gay people who wear makeup.
I would prefer to know as little about you as humanly possible. That's my whole thing. I don't want to know anything about you.
That's the opposite of the social media age.
I know. I do not want to know if you suck dick, you eat pussy. I don't want to know that you put your feet on the furniture at the lounge. I don't want to know I don't want to know anything about you.
Yeah.
That's the way I like it. So whatever you're presenting is too much for me. And not interested in your pronouns, not interested in who you fuck, not interested in whatever your thoughts are.
But it is like that people living a different life out there. You normally have a curious mind. On this, you're shut down.
I would like to find out what smart people are thinking, not have presented what dumb people are thinking, which is whatever they're presenting to me. I don't want to see that. But it's also
the
like
irony of this guy making that statement, because he's a TikTok star.
Jeffree Star.
Yeah, he's a big time social media influencer, which they push this type of agenda on there. It's clear as day that they kind of have amped up that part of our American culture. You know, gay culture has exploded, and now he's giving some pushback.
Yeah, well, they're just angry and there to piss off whatever would piss Charlton Heston off the most. That's what they're for.
I was thinking Clint Eastwood in the movie with the
He's
Asians.
still alive, but yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Bill Maher reveals a shocking reason that he quit stand-up comedy. Everybody was giving him guff about it, but he just basically came out on his Club Random podcast and said it. You know.
All right. Let's look at the clip.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got off the road this year I had been doing it for
Really?
Yeah, I stopped doing it at the end of 20.
What made you stop?
Well, I just did my 13th HBO special. I feel like that's a good body of work.
Yeah.
Again,
I said what I needed to say, people.
And I felt they basically got better as it went along. I feel like the last one was the best one, which is a good way to get off.
Yeah.
A number of things. Just got tired of the travel, obviously. I miss doing it. Also, I feel like it was a great choice because I don't want to be out there in this country, in this political atmosphere. I could get shot by the left or the right.
Yeah, well, at this point...
it's a good time to not be out there. And also, apropos of this discussion, I just got tired of being twice as funny as people who were selling twice as many tickets as me.
He's always so humble. He's always so humble.
I like that arrogant bastard.
Yeah, he's fine. The people that sell out the arenas, whether they be comedians or bands, usually are never going to be better. They're just going to be what's happening now, which is how it works. You know what I mean? There's great bands, and they're at McCabe's in Santa Monica playing in front of 46 people, and then there's whoever's playing at the arena, and that's not usually
There's a whole
that.
business side to it, yeah, right?
Yeah, that holds true with stand-up as well. So I get where he's at, but he also needs no money. I mean, he's got more money than he knows what to do with because he's pretty much never been divorced, never been married, and then never had kids, and then drugs, and, he's never really... The things that'll break you, he never participated in. So he doesn't need to go on the road, And anybody likes doing comedy, and good for him.
He's the kind of guy that, blurs the line where he's doing politics and comedy. So
but he's also...
And what I'm more interested in to hear you think about your thoughts about his safety.
Look, there's two kinds of safety. There's real safety and then sort of perceived safety. It's like you watch Jaws and then you don't want to go in the ocean. And there's a lot of people that watch Jaws and didn't want to go in a lake. And there are other people that watch Jaws and wouldn't go to a swimming pool at night. And then there are people who watch Jaws and wouldn't go into an above-ground swimming pool during the day.
I saw the Blair Witch, and I did not go in the woods for a while.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So then there's that, and then there's, security. But again, what is security? Everybody has been shot in the last 10 years had some kind of security. It's just they're walking in front of you on a sidewalk and you get shot in the back, or you're up on stage and you get shot and security's off stage.
Or you're in your Lamborghini and just pull up to the block and the guy just sprays you up.
That's right. So I don't think anything's going to happen to Bill Maher, but a couple of prominent people get shot in a couple of months, and before you know it, Bill Maher, who does not need to be. Also, Bill Maher is knocking on the door of 70. So, he's 70. He needs no money.
Yeah.
He's done 13 specials. I don't know what he needs to prove. He's got a daily, or he's got a weekly
but do you
show.
think he's justified in his hanging out at Club Random more often?
I don't think he's at risk if he goes out, but if you go into the ocean, there's a 1 in 1 million chance you'll get bit by a shark. But if you never go into the ocean, then it's 0. So he is at zero.
And he's going to need a bigger boat.
He's going to need a bigger boat, which I just learned was ad-libbed by Roy Scheider. The line was not in the script. It's always the best stuff. So there's Bill. And Bill's got to put a little dig in at the end about being twice as funny as these young assholes selling out these places. But that's Bill.
Yep.
Yeah, I like Bill.
Here we go. Here's a nice story. Elementary students given tickets by cops for saying 6-7. Yeah, police in Indiana are issuing tickets to elementary school students.
I saw that. I didn't know what that was.
Yeah. The students, 6 and 7, seem unbothered by it, continue shouting 6 and 7. And the seemingly inescapable phrase 6-7 by making a company hand motion 6-7.
What does that mean?
6-7. Yeah, 6-7.
You know what it means?
Yeah, 6-7.
I don't know what that means. You know what this means, Doctor?
Yeah, 6-7.
6-7.
Yeah, 6-7.
We'll see it.
6-7.
6-7. All right, we'll see it. We'll see it on TV.
Go to the dictionary to look up the meaning of a word, of course. So we found it strange when dictionary.com decided to spotlight a word with no meaning whatsoever. Vladimir Duthier explains.
6-7.
Whether you love it.
I'm sorry, 6-7 is just.
The 6-7 thing.
It's nonsense.
Or you hate it.
We are not saying the word 6-7 anymore. If you do, you have to write a 67-word essay.
The phrase 6-7 seems to be everywhere.
You want to know what time I woke up this morning? What time? Around 6-7. 6-7.
Nobody appears to know what it actually means, but that's exactly what Georgetown University linguistics professor Cynthia Gordon says is the draw.
I think one reason they use it is because it largely means nothing substantively. It's much more a signal of group insider status.
While the origin of the phrase isn't entirely clear, some trace it back to a song by Philadelphia rapper Skrilla.
6-7. I just bit right on the highway.
A TikTok user added the music to a clip where he talked about the height of Charlotte Hornets point guard LaMelo Ball.
He literally moves like somebody that's 6'1", 6'2", except he's 6'7".
But it wasn't until this young basketball fan added that now viral hand movement that the meme took off. Every generation has its share of catchphrases.
Don't!
As if.
But it's how quickly the phenomenon over a 2-digit number has spread that's captured people's attention.
The context of social media really makes this much more amplified, and I think it makes the change a lot faster. So we'll see if the 6-7 comes and goes.
6-7!
Vladimir Duthier, CBS News, New York.
Not interested. Don't get it. But I guess that's it. That strikes me as this is a sort of out of problems kind of conversation, no real problems kind of conversation.
I have no idea what it means.
I have no idea. Well, I don't. Being interested. Well, here's what I want to say. Being interested.
The kids, man, they're insane. I'm sorry, Ace. They're just insane. All of them are 6-7.
No, I know, but being interested in things that have no inherent interest because other people are interested in them never made any sense to me. Like,
I got it.
who was the billionaire with his dating advice from yesterday? Everyone's all up in Bill Ackerman, right?
Ackerman,
There you go, introduce yourself to a young lady or something. I'm like, hey, fine, who cares? Or don't, or so what? Oh, we got to get after Bill Ackerman. I'm like, do we? Why do we have to go after him? It doesn't make a difference. Who gives a fuck? It's nothing. At some point, you're going to die, and you're going to have a whole day of 6-7s of Bill Ackerman dating advice, and it's like you realize your life was completely and utterly ruined.
Hey,
Yeah.
Pharrell Williams reveals his political stance and says picking sides inadvertently supports division. Here we go.
Pharrell?
Yeah, about 6-7.
Mountie hat Pharrell?
Yes, Mountie. Happy Pharrell?
Happy Pharrell.
Yeah.
As we look at what's going on in the current political climate, I'm just saying I don't want to turn anybody off. I hate politics. I despise them. it's a magic trick that it's not real. I don't believe in either side, because I think when you pick a side, you are only, you are inadvertently supporting division. Yeah, it's not a popular point of view, but I just gotta say, like, think about it. The wells are drying up, and then, okay, now the diversity's off the table, now equity's off the table, now inclusion's off the table. So that makes me ask myself, okay, so how do we survive? Well, are there black people here tonight? Yeah. And in your heart, do you think, for what it is that you do and who you are, do you think you're the best? Okay, so do you want the job because you're black or because you're the best? The best. Do you want someone to support your startup because you're black or because you're the best? Yes. Right, so I think now for me it's about us having the best ambition. That's the reason why you should support these businesses. Yes, they happen to be black and brown, but it should be based on the thesis that we're the best, not because we are a total shade of a skin color. That's a point of view that I have now that I'm resting on, and if diversity, equity, and inclusion ever comes back in style, cool. But in the meantime, I want to focus on being the best because I can bank on that, because that's what's going to get you the position. Where, I don't want you to give me anything. I want you to panic and not let me out the room because I'm the best.
Yeah.
Long-time listener, I believe.
Trump voter over here.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, I agree with all that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, well, listen, here's the whole thing. You can agree with it, or you can disagree with it and then just get your ass kicked by life. You can sit around and you can go, I want this, I want that. I want to vote in someone who looks like me. I want to get Barack Obama in there so he can take care of me because I'm young and I'm black and whatever it is. You can either subscribe to this sort of what Pharrell just said, or you can be bullied by the lie that you're living with this fantasy of if we just had people in power that looked like us, they would take care of us, or if there's more programs for people like us, or if we got artificially pushed to the front of the line. That's not going to help you. There's only one way to do it. It's only, you can say whatever you want. It's all diet and exercise. And whenever I say diet and exercise, I don't mean diet and exercise, but I mean diet and exercise or whatever life's version of that is. You can talk about dietetic fudge. You can try to get around everything the easy way, or whoever you know. You can chalk everything up to something, or you can fucking just start doing the work.
Yeah,
that's all.
Dietetic fudge.
That's all. That's all. And he's right. And nobody... There's the government cannot make you succeed. What they can do is sort of keep you alive. They can give you a little bit of shitty shelter and a little bit of shitty. They can give you the worst food and the worst shelter.
Give you the bare minimum. Yeah, and give you a leg up so you can get yourself. But you have to scramble for everything you got in this world.
You will do everything. And by the way, even if the government did do a good job of taking care of you, I would still caution you against putting your hand out. I would say, you know what? Best case scenario, you go kick some ass and take care of yourself. Let's do that. And, this thing where I wasn't negatively impacted by the government shutdown because I'm not a SNAP recipient and I do not rely on the government to take care of me. So it was shut down, but I was not impacted. A little bit with the air traffic controllers, but I do not rely on the government, so the government can close down and then I'm not impacted because I don't rely on the government. If you rely on the government, well, sometimes it's going to close down. And whatever food you get or whatever shelter you get or whatever it is they're handing out is going to be the worst, just like Soviet-era automobiles. You're not going to get the best and the brightest. So I'm with Pharrell, and he's a Trump supporter. All right. Texas, tomorrow night, Fort Worth, Texas. Hyenas Comedy Club. Couple of shows there. And then Friday, Woodlands, Texas, Do-Si-Do, Big Barn, couple of shows there. Saturday, Walnut Springs, Texas, Rattlesnake Roadhouse. One show there, I do believe. And me and Jay Moore are going to be at Dos Lagos Amphitheater. That'll be out in Corona, California. That'll be December 6th. You can go to adamcarolla.com. For all the live shows, what do you got?
Hey, thanks a lot for the hat, Coach Harbaugh. See you guys next time.
Oh, nice. So, till next time, Adam Carolla from Mariana Van Zeller and Mayhem saying mahalo. Alicia Krause in studio. She's got her op-ed for the Washington Examiner. Newsmakers every week. What's the subject this week, Alicia?
Oh, this week it's going to be about the transgender neighborhood in San Francisco.
Oh, they going to start one?
They have. They've announced it. There's a whole video from a councilman and everything.
Let me tell you something. It's like when you do your Wakanda thing where you go, we're going to start an all black place or an all everything place doesn't work unless it's Asian. That'll work. Japanese, that works. Everything else turns into a shit show.
My favorite thing about the Wakanda stuff is when Black Panther came out, which I do love. It's a great movie in the Marvel Universe, in my opinion. But the Google searches for vacations in Wakanda.
Oh, really?
It was amazing.
Oh, there will be a theme on a Carnival cruise soon.
Really?
I think.
You think?
I think that's where they're heading.
Wow.
The Wakanda cruise.
Wow.
Yeah. So, the transgender neighborhood.
Yeah, what does it mean?
Does it exist?
It does exist. Like there's like a whole social media post about it. I got to do a little bit of deep dive before I write about it today.
Oh, God, I can't believe it.
But I saw the Instagram post. Kudos to my husband. He sends me all these silly reels all the time. I think half of our relationship is Instagram DMs, of, like reels that we send back and forth. And he was like, is this for real? And I looked it up and it definitely is for real.
There is, huh? I don't think it's going to work, but okay.
I don't even know what it means.
I don't know what it means.
Like, what does a transgender neighborhood mean? Like, are only transgender people allowed there? If I go there, do I instantly become a man? If you go, do you become a woman? Like, what does it mean?
I don't know. It's mostly a mental disorder, this whole transgender shit, and we prop it up, and it's insane, and we're fucking kids up. But other than that,
there's a village for dwarves in Long Beach, right?
I thought you were going to say
Is it
in New
like
Zealand,
that?
like Hobbitland.
Really?
Yeah, there is a
village.
Yeah, like their own town.
For dwarves.
Yeah, for yeah.
But are you not allowed there because you're not a...
No, I think you're allowed there, but I think people go there for the spectacle of it.
I went down to Long Beach, and I didn't even know I was in the dwarfs village, and I just went to go enjoy the beach, and I fell asleep, and I woke up, and I was tied down. And I was like, what the fuck is going on around here? Well, as it turns out, I was at the dwarf village and the Lilliputians.
That's it.
Okay.
I remember being terrified of that book when I was a kid.
The Gulliver's Travels?
Yeah.
All things when you were a kid were big and terrifying and
scary,
weird and
yeah.
scared. Now kids are looking at weird German porn and stuff on their phone, and it's all a disaster.
By like 11. Do you know that? On average, by 11?
What? So see if you can confirm this Long Beach.
It's right here.
Midget Town in Long Beach refers to the urban legend. Urban legend surrounding. The urban legend surrounding the La Linda Drive neighborhood, which is rumored to have built for little people after the movie Wizard of Oz. Well, there is no truth to the legend.
There you go. I'm Gullible's Travels.
It is suspiciously home to the largest per capita venues for miniature golf.
Really?
Yes.
Or as they call it, golf.
They just call it golf. Right. It's 18 championship holes to them.
Do you like mini golf or golf?
Miniature golf is fun with kids, and it's also like good first datey stuff
because it's not
static where you're sitting in a movie theater, you're sort of moving around. You can have fun a little bit.
You can chit chat. You can see, do I want this woman to have my children? Like, is she ambidextrous
Check
or
her
not?
form.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then at some point
you can help her.
At some point she beats you, and you get super angry and storm out of the date.
It's a good opportunity for the man and the woman to figure out like personality, competitive nature.
I never thought about this, but the miniature golf always has the batting cage attached to it out here.
Yeah, like at Castle Park.
I think that's there for when the dude gets beat in miniature golf. He can be like, "Hey, let's hit the cages on the way out, okay, hon?" And she's like, "I've never played, but that's right. and I played JC ball.
Yeah, some
for
of them
3
also have,
years at Pierce. So give me that fucking bat.
Some of them also have the slick track or go-karts. It's like, all right,
we need
you won this
something-
one. Let's see how you
Because
drive.
any woman can beat any guy at miniature golf on any given Saturday. That's a given, but we're going to beat him in the batting cage.
That's
and
actually
that's for us.
a good psychological idea for a first date too, because then as a dude, you're like trying to make the woman feel confident in herself and like, right?
Oh,
Like
by letting her win?
By not letting her win, but if you're saying that the average woman could probably beat dudes in mini golf, then it's like
I think there is no real
like I'm gonna
advantage.
make her feel good about herself, and if she feels better about herself, then she might feel better about me. There's a psychology there.
You know, men win in golf because they drive the ball 65 yards further.
Yeah.
You know, but this is not that. Also, I think women, when it comes to miniature golf, may win at a even percentage or even higher because whereas the guy, he's like, I'm going to go for that center flume that's only 5 inches wide. I think I can catch it. Where the women go conservative. I'm just going to hit it into the side one and it's going to go down. And the guy goes for it and he does it 3 times and it comes back to him because he's going for it. You know what I mean?
My 12-year-old can beat my dad and my brother-in-law at golf because she's better at chipping and putting.
Oh, really?
To your point.
Regular golf?
Yeah.
All right.
Like out on 18 holes at DeBell or something.
My idea of a first date is go out and play miniature golf.
Yep.
She wins at miniature golf. We go by the cage. I smack a few around in there, let her know who the alpha is in the relationship, and then it's back to the car.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get her in the windmill for a little action.
Try to get her in the windmill for a little action.
Yeah.
I worked at a mini golf like go-kart place in high school. It was called Gopher. Like, but Gopher. A golf and Gopher a spin.
That's kind of cute.
It was clever.
What'd you do there?
I like kind of managed it because the owner was this old lady that was like, "You take over. I'm gonna go have some smoke."
High school job.
It was awesome.
Homeschool job.
It was awesome. And I think that she liked me because I could work all hours because I was homeschooled.
I was thinking about the other day. I was thrown off a go-kart track. I was also thrown off.
A little too wild.
I got thrown off a driving range, a golf driving range as well.
Why?
The guy just said, if you shank another one into the tennis court, you got to leave. And he stood there and he watched me shank the next one into the tennis court. And I didn't even talk to him. I just shanked it. He watched it. I watched it. And I just started leaving.
Was it a walk of shame?
Yeah, because
You're
people in the tennis court, I rented the club. That's how good a player I was. So I just gave him the club back and left. And I also realized Jimmy Kimmel has had air freshener sprayed at him in his face for farting up a bus and for farting up an airplane.
Okay.
But he's never done a train. And my thing is like, Jimmy, if you could fart up an Amtrak to the point where the steward got hold of the can and sprayed it at him, he got sprayed with, air freshener.
I know you're going to circle back, but I don't know how this applies to getting kicked out of. Oh, you're talking about getting kicked out of places.
It's sort of like having your hands registered with the state of Nevada or something. You know what I mean? Like the feather in your cap.
Yeah.
If he could get someone to spray him down on a train with air freshener, he would do a train, a bus, and a plane.
That's the EGOT.
That's the EGOT. That's the hat trick. No one, and I would argue, I don't think you're ever going to meet another person that actually had the EGOT in the air freshener farting up the space.
Yep.
Most Americans barely have one.
That's either the back sleeve or the introduction to the bio, but he has better chances of getting booted off a train if he goes business class surfliner.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Business
Gotta
class,
go bougie.
first liner, farted up.
Yeah.
And again, the person will go get the spray and spray it at you.
That's like pepper spray quality.
Yeah,
that's like
you're essentially a cockroach at this point, and that's Ray. Like that's the same theory. There's a punitive part of it. They don't go over the shoulder into the atmosphere. They go at the problem.
He's got to finish that. That's an empty feeling.
I've told him. He's like, I'm hosting a late night show. I'm like, blah blah blah.
He could go incognito, and then just GoPro it for like you. And then nobody else would know.
I'll take his word for it. I was there for the for the
You're
plane.
a good friend. You wouldn't leak it to TMZ or anything.
I was there for the plane. I was there for the bus.
Oh, so he needs to take you.
Kinda.
Maybe you're his good luck charm.
Well, I'm an observer. You know, when you try to set a record, you have the guy from Guinness Book of World Records. You fly them out. They observe. So you need somebody on that train.
Would you tell the Guinness Book of World Records after he...
I don't know how many categories they have, but I would say it's one thing to fart up a plane and to fart up a bus. And many have done this. But how many of us have actually got a can of Airwick Wizard sprayed in our face?
Like they knew it was him?
He was maced with air freshener.
Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. I would be mortified.
Well, we were impressed, but okay.
Difference between men and women right there.
Yeah, that's the homeschooling.
Well,
all right, what do we got?
Well, Ilhan Omar.
Oh, yeah.
One of my
She's a delight.
One of my least favorite
Can we at
Congress
least just admit these bitches hate this country? Can we, listen, I grew up with this. I grew up with my mom. My mom would be like, first off, no one actually says, I hate this country. They just go, this is a great country. It's the greatest country on earth. But you have to realize the horrors of slavery and the Bataan Death March and the Trail of Tears. And it's like, do you love this country, bitch?
Well, see, Ilhan Omar won't even say that.
She won't even say.
She won't even say this is a great country.
Once in a while they do. They go, this is a great country, and that's why we have to do this, and we're not doing any of it.
Yeah, so Ilhan Omar would say, this is a great country. That's why we can't fund the Jews or something.
She's horrible. She's the worst, especially since we saved her from her piece of shit country. But all right.
No, forget that. Forget about that. And now we've made her a millionaire.
Oh, really?
Apparently, she's always denied and said that she is not a millionaire, quote, saying, I am not a millionaire. But the Washington Free Beacon and some other outlets, but the Free Beacon was the first to it, found a 2025 disclosure. And she and her husband, so Tim has a couple of different businesses.
She and her husband, or she and her brother?
This is her husband.
Oh, but she married, okay. Ugh.
So they've had a really good year.
Sing-songy too. Oh, she sounds like that reporter as well. She goes up. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
So but as a congresswoman, she makes $175,000 a year.
All right.
By the way, the Roberts Rules of Order says that whether you're a man or a woman, you're supposed to be called like congressman. There's no but. I don't know. In this day and age, I'm just going to say congresswoman. She makes $175,000 a year, but her husband's net worth is now ranging, or their joint net worth is now ranging from $6 million to upwards of $30 million.
Yeah.
It's because of a couple of companies that he owns. One is a VC firm, and another one is a winery right here in California.
Well, what I've learned from Bernie Sanders is, if you notice, once everyone did the math on Bernie Sanders, like, hey, you got 3 homes and you are a millionaire and all you do is rail against, he swapped out. They all swapped out millionaire for billionaire like the last 9 months. So they are millionaires. So again, you can't complain about millionaires if you're a millionaire. So you just swap it out to billionaire.
He also stopped talking about private planes because he and AOC, when they were doing their whole socialism marches around the country, including here in LA,
stop the oligarchy.
They're going to stop the oligarchy, but they flew private.
Can I tell you something? If I was in the room when you're pitching me, like, what's the name of this tour going to be? Stop the oligarchy. I was going to be like, you know what? If I was in the room when UPS pitched What Can Brown Do For You, I would have done the exact same thing I'm about to do now. Bad idea.
Yep.
Don't fucking do it.
Yep.
No one knows what an oligarchy is.
Yep.
No one can spell oligarchy. Old man, you can't say oligarchy. And that's not it. If you want to go the Fair's Fair tour, or Rich Pay Their Fair Share tour, or something, or the middle class tour or something. Yeah. But stop the oligarchy is not a good thing to put on a sign.
You have to explain it. They all went to public school, so they don't understand it.
Right.
It's a lot.
Right. All right. So she's rich and
she's rich and she's saying she's not rich.
Can it go any other way?
I mean, like every congressperson I'm aware of is like pretty well off.
Yeah.
Like $175,000 in a lot of the country is good money.
Yeah, but it's not enough to have. How does your net worth get to be $96 million off $180 grand? I'm talking about, there's like Nancy Pelosi and all these people.
Well, that's the insider trading.
Right. Okay. I just look at. Here's what I'm saying. I have plenty of rich friends, and it turns out rich people are better than poor people, much better. I grew up with poor people. They're fucking horrible. They're horrible. There's a reason they're poor.
I like my favorite kind of rich person, though, is the kind of rich person that started poor and then built it themselves.
Yeah,
not the daddy gave it to
all
them.
the rich people I know are that way. Okay. And I'm glad they're rich. I'm rich. It's good. It's a good thing. And I don't begrudge anyone being rich. What I hate is when people do the poor talk who are rich.
Yes.
That's the problem. The problem with the Nancy Pelosi's of the world is you never stop talking about the little man, and then you go out to the hair salon and get your hair colored during COVID, and you have a walk-in refrigerator with your fucking husband who drives a Porsche and is worth $300 million. That's the part I don't like.
And live on Billionaires Row in San Francisco.
Right. If you want to just be rich and fucking... And by the way, tip of the cap to anyone who ever goes, hey, bitch, I work hard. Like, I work. Dawson, what did we do last weekend? Okay. What did Adam Carolla do last weekend? He worked. What's Adam Carolla do this next weekend? Worked. What's Adam Carolla do the weekend after that? Worked. What's he do the weekend after that? Worked. Okay. I work weekends. I'm rich. But if you just go, hey, I fucking have 3 jobs and I work most Saturdays out of the year, then good for you.
Yeah.
Just don't give me a fucking speech about loving all the poor people and everything and being rich. Just go fucking get rich. That's fine. And say I work hard.
Ilhan Omar, yeah. It's like her being a millionaire the problem? No.
No,
her
she has to
lying
pretend.
about
She has to pretend.
her lying about not being a millionaire is the problem.
This is the best. I don't know if you can find it anywhere, Dawson. The best one. I don't know if you can find this, or Andrew can find this, but there's a clip we used to have. I used to play it all the time. Or once in a while, I would play it. It is Michael Moore on Howard Stern. Remember I would play that clip? Howard Stern, who's also rich, likes to obsess about what other people are getting paid. I mean, he's like, how much you get paid? How much you get paid for that? Whatever. And Stern will never talk about how much he gets paid, but he gets paid more than all of them. But all right.
We played this on the radio show.
We played it on the radio and played it. So Michael Moore, his net worth at the time was $50 million, right?
Making a shitty documentary.
Lots of them. But Michael Moore... See, everyone understand this. Michael Moore is the shucks blue-collar guy from Flint, Michigan, who's always fighting for the people.
Yeah.
Right. So he can't walk around with a $50 million worth of net worth because he's the poor guys fighting for people.
Yeah.
Michael Moore dresses like an out-of-work lesbian trucker for a reason, because he has a poor person costume.
Yes.
He takes a crumpled up hat and he puts it on.
Yeah.
He wears a stinky t-shirt.
It has like even the gross like sweat stains whenever he's on MSNBC and he's wearing the gross hat that needs to get washed.
He goes on Bill Maher wearing a t-shirt and a fucked up trucker's hat because it's a costume.
Yeah.
A poor person's costume, and every day's Halloween to that guy because he's living
He's
a lie.
cosplaying.
Right. Now, poor people, if a poor person was going to be a guest on Bill Maher's show, they would get a suit to wear for Bill Maher's show. But not Michael Moore, who's a rich person who dresses like an out-of-work lesbian trucker.
Yeah.
So he was on Stern once a million years ago, and Stern was going, how much do you have?
Yeah.
And Michael Moore can't go, I got millions.
Yeah.
Because he's playing a role. Because he wants you to believe that he is this person.
He wanted, at time, he probably wanted them to believe he's better than like the Cheneys and the Bushes and like all the warmongers and like military industrial complex.
Rich people are bad, poor people are good, and he's a poor person, he's good, and he fights for poor people. Think Ellen dancing at the beginning of her show, or Rosie O'Donnell, their cutie patootie chub club, or Bill Cosby dancing at the beginning of his show. They're trying to get you to think of them as a certain way. So Stern keeps saying to him, well, what's your net worth? He's like, oh, I don't know. And he goes, well, Stern goes, you're a millionaire, right? And he goes, no. He goes, well, how can you not be a millionaire? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, well, look, you made Bowling for Columbine or whatever it was. The movie cost $2 million to make, and it grossed $86 million. So how are you not?
Who made that money?
How are you not rich? You made 5 of those.
Did you redistribute it to the rest of the crew?
And he's like, well, I don't know. I don't think I could be. By the way, you make films. You know what the gross is and what they cost and the budget and everything
How well
else.
it did.
Yeah, I mean, and he's had docs that were probably under $2 million to make that made $50 million. So there's going to be some cheese heading his way. And he did the because he's a liar. And then he goes, he goes, but so Stern does what Stern does. It's funny. He goes, but you are a millionaire, right? Well, I don't want to, because that's a horrible title to call fake poor guy, right? Who's playing a role. So he goes, I don't know. And then Stern goes, oh, wait a second. You have $1 million. And he goes, maybe with the house.
Stop.
I swear to God, because he's lying just like all these fucking people lie because they're scared you're going to find out who they really are.
Everybody in LA is a millionaire because every house in LA is $1 million.
Right.
Andrew is currently looking for that. In the meantime, I added Ilhan Omar to the Family Guy news lady. So let's see.
Let's see.
Tom, I'm standing here with flawless skin next to the shedding, crumbling, dusty, ancient relics of white people my age.
After months of searching, Lynn Ray Wentworth and her husband were thrilled to find what they thought was their dream home.
But this is not the moment to point fingers at people. It is time for us to come together and figure out what the actual solutions are so that there are no more dead angels in our communities.
Pretty good. Pretty close.
The cadence is there.
Anyway, I think I may hate her the most. I hate her the most because we saved her life, and she comes here and she hates this place.
And talks about how awful we all are.
Yeah, in Minneapolis, good fucking luck over there with the Somalis. Have fun. Make sure you kowtow and placate. Make sure you get a lot of them.
Yeah.
And you dance and you dance and you dance.
What was that, in Ann Arbor? Is that one of the places over the weekend? Labor Day weekend decided to have like a pro-terrorist rally?
Yeah, they're doing a lot of that. Listen, it's a huge mistake. Anyone who does is going to be fucked. Europe's fucked already. Good luck to you.
Should we stay on politics for a moment?
All right.
Talk about other people we don't like in politics, like old guys? Do we have this video of Jerry Nadler? So Jerry Nadler, he's been in office since 1977.
Jesus Christ.
11 years before I was born.
Wow.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. There's a great clip. That's that Jerry Nadler clip where they ask him about Antifa. It's like, that doesn't really exist. Was that Antifa? I can't remember which
I know.
was.
I think it was. It was like look at this. He's not, you can't even see him.
He's shorter than the podium. He used to be wider than he was tall.
Yeah, he's lost some weight. Maybe he went on Ozempic.
I think so. He's full of retarded ideas, this guy, yes.
People are wearing masks and are totally unidentified, and the question is why?
Why?
The question is why. It's completely improper, and again, one has to assume they're hiding something, or they're hiding misbehavior, because otherwise, why would they be wearing masks and denying their identity?
You can't see him standing behind
Somebody
the
needs to get him an Apple box.
He wants to know why ICE.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing, Nadler and or any other Democratic politician. You keep asking the question, why? Why are they wearing masks? Would you like an answer? They don't want to be recognized because they don't want to put their family in danger because they're being doxxed. Okay? There's your answer.
Yeah.
Did you ask anybody? Why don't you ask them why they're doing it? If you'd like an answer, ask them.
Because
and then they'll
like
tell you what I just said. And then you'll have your answer.
You'd have people like Nadler and Ilhan Omar out there being like, this is John Doe, and he lives at 111 Main Street, and his children go to school here. It happens all the time.
Yes, that's why they're wearing masks.
The people like him who are not forthcoming with, yes, that's obviously the answer, they're relying on an uninformed electorate.
Yes.
They think, they're doing bad things because they are masked.
He doesn't. But
during COVID, if you're masked, or even now if you're at Ralph's and you're masked, you're a shiro. Okay. Well, we can say adios because he's going to retire.
Oh, good.
And I hope that he, unlike Joe Biden, actually goes and has a good retirement. That'd be nice. He's 78 years old.
Well, he can eat a lot of ice cream.
He can go.
Maybe they'll hit him with an indictment on his way out.
ice
Trump
cream.
might.
Joe Biden. Ice cream is smart for Joe Biden because in the world of politics, you can't really just go, I'm a huge Steelers fan, because then you'll alienate all the Baltimore Ravens fans out there. And you can't really do it with lots of stuff, because then every time you go, this is my favorite. You know, if you go, listen, I love The Who, Rolling Stones can suck a dick, then you'll piss off a lot of people. But when you go, I love ice cream, everyone just goes, that's my guy.
The other thing is ice cream.
Everyone loves ice cream.
But what flavor?
It serves as kind of a smokescreen in interviews, because seriously, how do you actually interview somebody who is eating an ice cream cone?
You can't.
You can't, because there's an urgency to the ice cream cone. They're licking. They got it in their mouth. They can't. They
can't.
It's like,
by the way, female candidates, just don't ever be caught on camera with an ice cream cone.
He just likes it, because isn't his favorite flavor vanilla?
Yeah.
No.
That
does not exist.
He can also claim brain freeze if he ever has a question he can't answer on the ice cream.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. All right, so Nadler's
good, retiring.
Gone, fine.
And apparently it's because he's not progressive enough. Like, the Democrats are going to be running a 26-year-old, like, young gun against him.
Yeah.
And so he was like, peace, I'm out in 2026.
Good luck.
Good luck
with all that.
So I can't pronounce any names in this upcoming story. I apologize in advance. But did you see this insane video that went viral over the weekend at the U.S. Open?
The tennis?
Yep. We have the video here for your live reaction.
This popped in my head. We'll look at the vid, but I'm going to ask Andrew to look for this. It popped in my head, and I'm looking at Dawson too. Remember, I kept saying that minivan that slammed into that semi truck, like they didn't put the brakes on. Like, what was going on with that minivan? Like, who's driving that minivan? And it was a Florida, and it was a minivan. So we just assumed like 3 white guy Floridians, and someone was texting, and the 3 people were from Haiti.
It was definitely part of distracted drive. They were from Haiti?
They're all 3 Haitian.
Wow.
And the guy was driving had been here for 2 years, and last I checked, they don't do probably a lot of high-speed driving in Haiti, right? And you can look it up, but there's definitely, I kept saying, what's wrong with the driver? Like, why didn't the driver hit the brake? We did 20 minutes on that minivan, just slammed. You didn't see it lean forward.
Yeah.
Not a puff of smoke came out of the front tire. You know, it wasn't a lock it up. It was just, it looked like the minivan was traveling 55 down the highway and was traveling 55 when it hit the truck. Like, it didn't swerve. It didn't anything. And I kept going, what's wrong with those drivers? You can look it up, but it was a weird article that somebody tweeted me that all 3 of the people were Haitian. And again,
that brings up a good question. So my niece is almost 16. She's has her permit. She's driving all these places. She just drove cross country with her grandparents and is practicing and has to have so many hours behind the wheel of a car before she can officially get her license when she turns 16 in December. When we have people immigrate from other countries, maybe we should do a better job at implementing a permit type system, because it is very different. Like, it shocks me. I'm going to Spain next week, and I'm like, I'm not going to drive in Spain. I don't know I can't read all the signs, and I don't know what side of the road they're on and all that stuff. Like, to take someone who immigrated here and just expect that they know how to do a thing with all of the Americanisms the 4-lane highways and toll roads and all this stuff, it's not fair to them or us to just let them go.
Well, Haiti's probably it's the poorest place in the hemisphere. I mean, it's the poorest place. I'd say not a lot of car ownership, I would probably say. And probably not a lot of guys, not a lot of people own Corvettes there. It's not like a lot of spirited driving going on. They don't have a history in NASCAR or road racing or something.
They also don't have 100 miles of an interstate. Right, just go straight.
They don't have driver's ed either.
They don't. Yeah, so they don't.
That's sad.
They don't have anything for driving over there. So I'm saying this guy was not used to going down the interstate at 60 miles an hour. Is what I'm saying in Haiti. So when it comes to when I kept saying what was wrong with that driver, now the thing about people that are bad drivers or that happens, oh God, I hate these people, but they panic. Like I just saw footage of a guy backing a pickup truck off a pier because it was like a kid backing it up, and he panicked and punched the accelerator, and the car just went into the bay. I've been with people that they panic and they go, they stomp on the accelerator, they can't process it.
But this driver didn't do any of those things.
Well, he could have panicked and froze, or whatever he did. He didn't react, but because he probably didn't do a lot of driving for the 25 years he was in Hades, and then he came here for 2 years and did probably limited driving, and then they gave him this minivan, and he didn't react like someone would react. That's all I'm putting. I don't know how much driving goes. What percentage of people own a car in Hades? That's all I'm saying. All right, so this guy,
he's the CEO of a publicly traded company, by the way, called Drugbruck. It's like a paving company.
I like this guy.
I'm not going to. Andrew said just say it fast. Piotr Szczerek. So you've seen this video, right? Should we play it for the audience?
He's the Polish guy.
Yeah.
Who?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. They're at the U.S. Open. Someone's handing out the guy
that just won. I also can't say his name.
Hands his hat out.
Hands is signing things, handing things out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he hands it to the kid, and then the guy steals it
and puts it in his wife's bag.
Puts it in his wife's bag.
She's there videoing the whole thing.
And now
I'm assuming it's his wife.
Yeah, well, let's hope we don't have another Coldplay situation. that would be funny if that was
if this was a double whammy.
Yeah.
It's like jerk and look, the kid actually, if you watch I watched a minute-long clip, that kid followed him.
Oh, really?
That kid had some tenacity because he followed him for a little bit and was like, hey, man, hey. Like, he's talking to him and he's like, hey, he took the hat from me.
Right.
Like, you can read his lips and that's what he's saying to him.
Right.
And that lady's just there, like, smiling and grinning. He got the hat and he stuck it in the bag.
Right. So here's how we work, and this is how we should all work. I told everyone last week or the week before that when somebody parks, I had a woman park in the middle of my driveway at my place where I couldn't get on either side. And then the next time she parked across and blocked it, right? Now I go nuts. And then everyone goes, so what? It's just a car. Just go move the car. And I go, no, it's a window into who the person really
100%.
is. It's who they are. Because it's 10 cents worth a hat. Who cares? Oh, no. It's a window to who that guy is. As a human being, this is why we react so strongly to this. We don't care about the kid. By the way, the kids at the U.S. Open or the whatever Open, when I was 8, there was no tennis. I wasn't hanging out at a tennis tournament.
Like down close enough to touch a winner.
Kid is rich. Yeah. That kid is doing better than every kid you grew up with, including yourself. There's no
better than my kids.
I think about me going to my dad. Hey, Dad, I think we should head down to Flushing Meadows this weekend. He'd be like, "What the fuck are you? Are you kidding? By the way, we're not going to. We wouldn't go to Knott's Berry Farm on your birthday. Are you kidding me? We're not going to attend." So that kid is fine. It's not the hat. Everyone in this picture is doing great. All rich white people at a tennis thing. Everyone's doing fine. It's not that. It's a window into who this person is.
So
that's why we react this way.
But here's my 2 cents, because I had the exact same thought as you, so we're on the same wavelength there. But this guy is the CEO of a publicly traded company. He has the fiduciary responsibility to do whatever it takes within legal bounds to make his stockholders and his board and all of his employees and everything the most money possible. So he is probably like this at his job, in his personal life, all that stuff, 99.9% of the time. And people are cheering him on because he's making a moolah. But then when it is public, and in a situation like this, I almost don't think it's fair to criticize him for his assholism showing when he's probably like that all the time and he tends to get cheered on for it.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, we do that. It's funny. With Michael Jordan, they just go, "Oh, Michael Jordan, man. It wasn't just basketball. You play dominoes with that guy. He'll try anything to beat you. He'll try anything." And everyone goes, "Oh, that's who he is."
Yeah. It's who he is. And this guy, you can tell it's who he is based on his apology. If your kids gave you this apology, if my kids gave me this apology, I just massively eye roll. He said that he was like overcome because it was a fellow Polish dude that like won a game. I guess he beat out a Russian.
It's like he was at a Tony concert
and felt the spirit.
So he said, quote, "I would like to unequivocally apologize to the boy who was harmed, his family, as well as all the fans and the player himself. I made a serious mistake. In the emotions and the crowd's joy after the victory, I was convinced that the tennis player was handing the cap in my direction for my sons who had earlier asked for autographs. It is a painful but necessary lesson for me." He went on to say that, for years, together with my wife, I've been involved in helping children and young athletes, but this situation showed me that one moment of carelessness can undo years of work and support.
Yeah,
He's a millionaire, by the way, just like Ilhan Omar. And he said, therefore, I will engage more actively in initiatives supporting children and youth, as well as actions against violence and hate. Like, why does everything have to be like DEI and like, you know,
gotta stop hate.
I believe that only through deeds can I rebuild this lost trust.
He looks like a Bond villain, but in the made-for-TV movie.
Like the cheaper version.
Yeah. All right. Do we put the Michael Moore thing on your things to do list then?
By the way, 1% of the Haitian population owns cars.
Right.
And I imagine that several people own several cars.
Right. So there
are 11 cars for every 1,000 people in Haiti.
This guy did not grow up driving.
No.
And he certainly don't have an interstate system over there. So he's going on a run to Indiana or whatever.
If we're not doing something.
And my repeated speculation over and over when everyone was going, what's wrong with this long haul trucker? I was like, yes. And what's wrong with the guy who never applied the brakes?
Yeah.
Something's wrong with that person. And everyone went, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, black guy. Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Victims of Florida Turnpike crash were Haitian immigrants headed to Indiana. Yeah.
That's sad. I mean, it's all sad. It's sad.
It's all sad, but now you're in some weird zone because the dude in the semi-truck who pulled a U-turn, that was a careless move. But there's a world where this guy applies the brakes, tells him to F off in Haitian, and then drives to Indiana, and we never heard about this, right?
Yeah.
Now, this guy's up for triple homicide or triple manslaughter or whatever. And at some point, you got to go, look, I pulled a bad move. But the dude driving the minivan doesn't know how to drive, and that definitely was a factor here.
But I think they'll focus on the if not for argument, if not for him being in this country.
They will focus on that, but as I talked to Mark Garagos about, if you're defending this guy...
That's what you say.
You're defending the truck driver, sorry, you are going to get into this guy not having a driver's license in Haiti and then coming here.
So when you went to your prom in Haiti, did you guys take a limo or did you drive your date?
We took a donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then how stupid and easy it is to get a driver's license here, probably.
That's what I'm saying. It's like American kids have to go through so many hours and so much testing between a permit and a license, but an immigrant can come here and just...
Did he even have a driver's license here? You know what I mean? He had a visa, like a work visa or something.
Right.
Okay.
He had a permit to work. One of them had a permit to work. They don't know. They're not releasing the information on the other two yet.
DMV employees are depressed and sad anyway. Stick them in a car with immigrants and be like, hey, before we give you a temporary license, could you drive around the block?
Yeah, this is your test drive, bitch.
Can you go out on the 10 and figure out?
It would be interesting, Andrew, for your to-do list in your Michael Moore clip is to find out that this guy even have a driver's license, or do you get some sort of temporary whatever? Yeah, when I got my motorcycle license, when I got pulled over and they towed my motorcycle and I had to go get the motorcycle and all that kind of stuff, they go, you need to have a motorcycle license to go get your motorcycle out of the impound yard. And I go, well, how do I get a motorcycle license? I can't do the test because I don't have my motorcycle. It's on the impound yard. And they go, oh, we give you a temporary thing, which means as far as they're concerned, I still don't know how to ride a motorcycle, but here's your piece of paper to go get it from the impound lot, and then you can drive it again.
Maybe what we're discovering is our system is just screwed, and we need to reinforce all of it.
It's a good point. All right.
I do think maybe even people like over 70 should have to take a test more often.
Jerry Nadler.
All righty. We have video of the lovely, pun intended, Ilhan Omar, who claimed her son was pulled over by ICE agents. Here's she is talking to CBS Local in Minnesota, WCCO.
At a Target, he did get pulled over by ICE agents, and once he was able to produce his passport ID, they did let him go.
So your son went to Target last night with his passport.
He always carries it with him.
In case he gets pulled over.
Yes.
Which he did by ICE.
Yes.
Yeah.
Except not true, didn't happen. According to James Rosen, a reporter over at Newsmax who reached out to the ICE department, quote, officials at ICE.gov tell Newsmax the agency has no record of stopping a car driven by the son of Ilhan Omar, as the Congresswoman claimed. Rosen posted, adding, acting director Lyons called the charge a, quote, ridiculous effort to unfairly demonize our law enforcement officers.
Well, if you pulled over all the Somalis in Minnesota, you'd never stop pulling over people, right? So it doesn't really practically...
Especially the ones that are stealing billions of dollars from...
They're the ones driving the Cadillac. Doesn't make sense, but also her whole world is being a victim. So that's all it is.
But I mean, and honestly, this goes back to the Ferguson thing, right? If this is the narrative that you see as a left-leaning person, you're going to be like, did you hear about Trump at letting ICE or having ICE pull over Ilhan's son, even though it didn't happen?
Listen, you can hear, you can find it. Tim Walz up there, he's the governor of the state, going, these guys showing up in unmarked vehicles with masks on, snatching up citizens and disappearing them into gulags. Like, except for none of it ever happens. Because none of that ever happens. And you're weird. Like, let me explain something. The part where, hey, I was just walking home from the mall and an ICE guy came in and he asked me for ID and I don't know what he wants from me, but I show him the ID. Yeah, and then you walked home. But here's the thing, everybody. Get the fuck over it. Everyone who's been to an airport gets pulled out of line, gets the wand down. I got the pat down. Andrew filmed it. We'll find this, but I had the male dude taking his back of his hand and dragging along the inside of my thigh and over my package and everything. Listen, shit. Here's the deal. Here, let me just everyone buckle up. We live in a society that has people who want to do bad things.
Yes.
Maybe it's blow up an airplane. Maybe it's fly an airplane into a building. Maybe it's shoot something up. Maybe it's steal things. And so because of that, we have like checkpoints and cops and guns and officials and things like that.
And ways they can legally go about trying to maintain safety.
We set up DUI checkpoints on New Year's Eve.
Yep.
And then when you're driving home from your friend's party in Huntington Beach, you may run into one of these, which I did many years ago when I was driving home from Kimmel's on New Year's Eve. And I wasn't outraged and I wasn't upset. These guys are looking for people that drive. How dare you accuse me of... It's New Year's Eve. It's 11 o'clock at night. You got caught in one of these DUI checkpoints. Okay, so... You go to the airport and randomly or non-randomly, you get pulled out of line and then somebody goes, we got to swab you down to make sure there's no explosive materials on you and then we're going to pad you down or whatever. And it's all of 4 minutes.
Yep. But it's an inconvenience, but you get over it.
But it's the price we pay for traveling commercially because somebody blew up an airplane and flew it into a building and so on and so forth. So... this thing where it's like, these citizens asked for ID. Stop being so fucking outraged, right? You just made a law that said I need a real ID to get through the airport. You guys are making all the fucking laws.
But also, She's blatantly lying about it.
Well,
So
she's
even if it was
a liar.
true, what you're saying makes sense.
It's fine. Shit happens.
But she's lying about it. And this kid is a U.S. citizen. Why does he travel around with his passport instead of just like a driver's license?
Because we're living in troubled times, don't you know? All right, let's listen to this retarded liar up there mispronouncing Gestapo, but go ahead.
Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets. They're in unmarked vans, wearing masks, being shipped off to foreign torture dungeons. No chance to mount a defense, not even a chance to kiss a loved one goodbye. Nope. Just grabbed up by masked agents, shoved into those vans, and disappeared. To be clear, there's no way for us to know whether they were actually criminals or not, because they refused to give them a trial. We're supposed to just take their word for it. All
right, so it's just scooping up folks. I like folks. Some people did some things.
Torture places and other places.
We're just driving around scooping up folk. Going down to the Cracker Barrel, grabbing folk, throwing them in unmarked vans. Everything's unmarked, very dangerous. Nothing's got markings on it. And then these guys have masks, and then we take them to foreign torture dungeons.
I thought foreign torture dungeons were like illegal. I thought after all the Gitmo Abu Ghraib
You're so
stuff,
naive.
Like,
you are so
is
naive.
it like a Marvel movie where it's an underwater torture dungeon that nobody has access to, and then it comes up out of the water?
It's in Wakanda.
And then they lower it back
It's
down.
a torture Wakandan style.
My favorite thing about Wakanda, other than the fact that it was a good movie, I think it belongs in the Marvel universe, and I'm a fan, is that like all of the Google searches for vacations in Wakanda.
Oh, really? God, those guys are high.
When the movie came out.
All right. I wanted to bring up this thing. Okay, so she's just a liar and a perpetual victim, but these idiots just victimize everybody and freak everyone out. And by the way, if you believe, you just heard Tim Walz, who was this close to being the vice president of the United States and is the governor of a major state in this country.
Yeah.
If you believed 20% of what that retard just said in 45 seconds, if you believed 20% of it.
Oh, I'd be up in arms.
You would pick up rocks and go hit the streets and start throwing it at ICE agents. You don't have to believe all of it.
Yeah.
You can believe 20% of unmarked vans.
Every news segment that we do on the show would be like, Adam, did you hear about what ICE did today?
Right. 20% of that, unmarked vans, masked guys scooping up folks, taking them to foreign countries and torture chambers without any due process, then yes, you would be a horrible American if you did not take to the streets and fight these people called ICE. That's their problem. That's what, and they want to tamp down the violence. Except for you're basically you're creating a French resistance with no Nazis.
Yeah.
And there's the Nazi reference.
The way they're getting around lying about it, too, is you'll see a lot of politicians saying, I hear stories of this and that is horrible.
But to be
it's
honest,
that
Trump
never
does that
happened.
too. People say I'm the best.
Well, that's true. He does that.
People do
Every
say that.
politician does that.
No. What they do is they heard a story like Ilhan Omar. They start this shit and then never fucking happen, and they can never find where the bodies produce the person. By the way, when they got rid of SNAP benefits, remember all the kids that were going to go hungry? Where are the bodies? Who expired because they couldn't get Funyuns?
And then an irreputable reporter will report on the story.
Yeah, and
then it's been reported.
Right.
Then the lie keeps going.
Yep.
I want to ask you quickly about this whole Brown shooting cop thing. I don't know if you had it on your docket or not, but
it's awful.
There's a couple things. They did a presser. Okay, let me tell you the problem with DEI.
Oh, there's many, but give me your top one, sir.
They do so a lot of these cities have something go wrong because you live in LA, we live out here, we don't know what comprises the whatever. And then up to the podium comes the female police chief and the female DA and the female, and everyone's of color, and they're literally having trouble speaking, and you're like, oh my God, are these all DEI hires? Like, is this why that city's fucking falling apart? Like, what are they doing? And so now every progressive city lo and behold, always has like a female police chief or female president of the college. And so this has got the female president of the college and then the wafy kind of gayish, I don't know, dude who's the mayor. And then
Pete Buttigieg type.
Yes. And then Oscar Perez Jr., the police chief of police who doesn't speak good English. And I'm like, are the reason these guys are the Keystone Cops is because they're all DEI hires and they can't actually do anything? I'll play this. And you got to look at the woman who's doing sign language because I don't know what's going on with her. She's wildly animated.
They always are, though. You know this is like a thing, right?
She's next level, though.
Really? Like better than the UN
she's
person?
moving her mouth. And I don't know what the mouth movement is for.
Lip reading?
Right, but I'm looking at a guy talking, and her mouth is not replicating him. So
she looks like she doesn't have teeth. She looks like her dentures fell out.
She's doing lip. Is there lip reading an American Sign?
Oh.
All right, let's just listen to Oscar Perez. Oh, sorry.
In the very near future. So, Chief Perez?
By the way, he's 5'0".
Thank you, General. Yeah, good evening. We're here again today, obviously, I'm going to reiterate what the General just stated, as well as the Mayor. This person of interest will be released. And I want to make sure that we all understand that this was a very complex investigation, and it still is. So in the sense, we followed on a lead, and we followed on this specific lead, but we're able to examine every single evidence.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Is she...
She's very distracting.
First off, I have no idea what he's saying.
There is facial expressions, though, involved in sign.
Okay, so what she's saying is like, we were very angry, and she'd go, and then she'd go, and the food was yummy in my tummy. So she's saying, read the hands, but also look at the emotion of what we were going
I
through
think when
here.
she's like, we're looking for. I will say though, you're right about the DEI stuff. It's kind of like when right before the court shut down Newsom's dumb idea to make sure that like any publicly traded company in California had to have 50% plus one women on the board. It's like the hoo-ha legislation is what I called it. Like, I don't, as a woman, I think most of my friends that are racial minorities don't want a job because of the DEI crap. We want to like earn that job because then because of all the DEI, it makes everyone question, well, why are they here?
Well, that's the real
because maybe
problem.
We earned being there, but because of the last 10 plus years of this crap,
yes,
that then everybody's going to assume that we don't deserve to be somewhere.
Well, especially
that sucks for us.
I agree, but especially when there's a thick accent and you guys are the Keystone Cops and you're bumbling the shit out of this case, then we're looking at you wondering what's going on. But we'll play him for another minute so we can hear his accent.
And at that point, that's how investigations work. Investigations will tell us whether something is valid or not, whether something needs to be ruled out. It's not a mistake. It's just how investigations work. And our responsibility is to make sure that we conduct the proper investigations. When I saw you all earlier today, I'm very proud of the detective work that they do. Detectives that work throughout the night, as the General
All right,
stated.
you can pause. First off, everything's a participation trophy now, so everyone has to get up there and talk about how hardworking everyone is.
Well, you haven't
and what a
caught the
great
guy,
job.
so I don't know if you're working hard
I know,
enough.
these detectives have done a wonderful job, except for the part where this guy's running around for day 5, but undetected by the detectives. But at some point, he gets into the trouble with the camera, indoor and outdoor one, and the other guy has to kind of help him out. I don't know if you can find that part.
It is kind of scary. Like, either this guy is a super genius that evaded all security cameras, or these cops are not doing their job, or, now some of the conspiracies online are like that the witnesses said that the dude did shout Allahu Akbar. So was it Islamic terrorism? And this police department, being the DEI kind of left-wing things, like don't want to admit to it and doesn't want to look to it and doesn't want to go to local mosques or care type groups and ruffle any feathers.
It's right before the guy from the back takes over, because at a certain point,
the guy in the glasses,
he does know.
In the glasses looks like he's sleeping, standing up.
I don't know if you heard it, but at the very top, he said he went through every evidence. Every
Well,
evidence.
English is a second language for this guy.
No problemo. If you're really a kick-ass
Right, but this is DEI, and they're progressive, so we think maybe they hired this guy, and maybe there were more qualified people.
Their evidence was completely limited because all the eyewitnesses are gone. They didn't go through every evidence.
Yeah. Well, it's right, Andrew. It's right before the guy with the silver hair behind him, to the right, comes walking in. He's just like has trouble with the. He has trouble. Yeah, just go back. Yeah, there you go. Just.
Guy in the glasses got to talk. He woke up for a little bit.
Just play that for a second. Let's play this. Oh, it's a commercial. Yeah, he's talking about cameras inside, cameras outside. He keeps getting screwed up and tripped up.
So the call just came in just now?
That's what we're seeing.
Yeah, so at this point, obviously, we'll be responding, but it's too early to tell if that's actually an accurate way. A lot of times those calls come in and they're not confirmable, but we'll check on that. Yeah.
To that or those false reports on social media?
So the call just came in just now?
That's what we're seeing.
Yeah, so at this point, obviously, we'll be responding, but it's too early to tell if that's actually an accurate way. A lot of times those calls come in and they're not confirmable, but we'll check on that. Yeah.
Do you see daily updates moving forward on?
Yeah, you got to go more toward the middle.
We can expect,
but
obviously, our police.
Yeah, he gets in there. It's right there. See what happens. He gets in the window thing.
Yeah, so it was there was a tip that came in, just like we were taking any other tips, and that one came in specifically identifying a person of interest, which was this individual. And so our detectives got on it, just like they got on others, but this specific one, it was actually picked up by the FBI, and they followed through with it, and they ended up coming and locating this individual of interest. And at that point,
the person of interest, she did her tongue in the side of her mouth.
Ended up drafting some search warrants, came up with some.
All right, Andrew, you can find the one. It's cameras inside, cameras outside, and one of the guys sort of walks up. I know.
Oh my gosh.
He'll come up behind him, but you'll see it. It was all over the news. You can find it all over the news. He was just bumbling through the thing, and then at some point, the guy in the back went like, "I'll do the driving here, Jose."
Still have no leads. It's scary.
Yeah, well,
they've released video.
Here's the deal: we may have incompetency at all levels. So, and incompetency that doesn't want to judge. So now,
I just keep thinking of the Ronald Reagan quote: "I'm from the government and I'm here to help."
That's right.
The
Great
most
quote.
scary words you could ever hear.
All right, one more.
Speaking of the government not being here to help, New York apparently won a lawsuit against Is it Hyundai? Is that how you say it?
Mm-hmm.
Hyundai and
Hyundai,
Kia.
like Sunday.
Sunday?
Oh, Hyundai.
No,
Yeah,
it's
you're
Hyundai,
right.
not
Yeah, Hyundai.
Okay.
Oh, well, now we found it. Sorry.
Oh, you want to play
It was a different press conference.
Oh, it was a different. Oh, it wasn't the one where the woman had the nutty one. All
Nope,
right,
different backdrop.
Sorry, my mistake.
All right.
I will play for you real quick just because it's funny. By the way, this is the best. This is the police chief.
So the video that we showed you came from inside the building, and that's all we had at the moment. That's all we have at this moment. Correct.
Inside the engineering building, though?
I'm sorry. It's from the outside of the building.
From the outside, so do you have video from inside the engineering building?
Both inside and outside. I'm sorry, just outside. That's what we have, not inside. No, I'm sorry, just outside.
Are they going to be released anytime soon? They went from inside the building?
That was released already. That was the outside of the building. We released that.
Yeah, let me just jump here.
Hold on. Eventually, Whitey's like, okay, Pablo, hold my beer. These guys are speaking English. And by the way, if English is your second language, inside, outside the building, a videotape, outside, inside, it's going to cause...
I actually feel like sometimes this happens no matter where there's a tragedy or an incident. Police chiefs ain't the best communicators. You need a comms director in these kinds of moments. You need somebody that is...
I agree. I agree. But if you don't speak good English, it's really going to hamper this.
But that's a big brain fart to have to be like, oh, cameras inside the building, and then the reporters are like, wait, where's that footage? Because they're on it and they want to see it and they want to know what's up.
Yeah. All right.
They're
Hyundai.
from the government and they are here to help.
Hyundai.
All right. So is New York, except not. If your car gets stolen in New York and it was a Hyundai or a Kia, they had to pay out New York because the attorney general there said that they didn't do enough to make their cars harder to steal.
Right.
So it's not the fault of the police departments. It's not the fault of prosecutors not putting bad guys behind bars and stopping theft. No.
Well,
it is the car manufacturers
not
themselves.
not the fault of the thieves either.
Yeah, no, forget
That's
that.
the most important
No, the
part.
thieves. No,
No.
of course not.
Yeah, so I am glad you brought this up because it is indicative of our society going off of the rails and the destruction of our society. Meaning, when your kid gets an F on his report card, you got two choices. You can tutor that child, work with that child, and take time with that child and get that grade lifted up, or you could go to the school and punch the teacher. Now, if your impulse is... now, your son is telling you go punch the teacher.
Yeah, it's not my fault, Mom.
Right. But whenever, like we had Nithya Raman out here, world-class retard Nithya Raman, who's city council of Sherman Oaks or whatever, 10 minutes ago she was blaming Toyota for making catalytic converters so easy to steal. So if you are going to do this, if you basically... I was talking to Dr. Phil about this. If you're fat and you want to blame the manufacturer of the scale that told you were fat, then you're going to get fatter, and so is everyone in our society. And as long as you're putting the emphasis on Hyundai or Kia or the scale or Toyota, more of this is going to happen, and it's going to get worse.
But how crazy that New York actually won the lawsuit against these cars.
Well, that's because it's a piece of shit city, and by the way, the DA is not there to go after Korean car companies. They're there to go after gangbangers that are stealing cars. This is the greatest clip ever. I watch this once a week. I can't. It's great because you know it's great.
The narcissism. Are we circling back to the narcissism?
It shows that it proves she's a dope through her idea, the notion of I'm angry at Toyota for making catalytic converters easy to steal. But she also looks like a dope in the delivery of the idea. All right, here we go.
In this case, I think one of the things that really infuriates me is that we have a company, the Prius, Toyota, who makes the Prius, that essentially has a device on their cars, which is super easy to remove. It's basically the value of a MacBook, right? That is put in a place that is incredibly easy to access in your car. And then the thefts related to this issue have essentially all of the costs of that are given to us to bear instead of them having to manufacture a car that actually is not so easy to be stolen.
But this is the logic that they started with guns, right?
Yeah,
and now they're just carrying it on to every other thing. Every other thing.
Everything is reversed in an insane way
If your
that
house
only
gets
create
broken
more of it.
into and your watch gets stolen, Adam, it's because
that's right.
you didn't do enough to protect your house.
Right. And this is the undoing of society.
This isn't just in New York State, by the way. Also, Baltimore and St. Louis are bringing lawsuits up against Kia and Hyundai. Hyundai. Why do I want to say Hyundai?
I want to say Hyundai too, but Hyundai.
It's the AI.
Yeah, so it will be the destruction of every major city if this is where your focus is.
Wow.
This is how they roll, everybody.
I mean, they've already destroyed LA, New York. There's only up from here, right? In the words of Shania.
The Providence police chief, Oscar Perez's nephew, Josh Perez, was sentenced to 22 and a half years in federal prison for running one of the largest fentanyl rings in the region.
Did his uncle put him behind bars? Or did he miss that?
I don't think he could catch any criminals, especially blood.
Oof.
All right. Tonight, Sagebrush Cantina, everyone. Brad Williams will be up on stage there. We got an ugly sweater competition. Got a lot going on there. So we'll have fun. Brad's always great on stage. Then the weekend, Kimmel's Comedy Club in Vegas. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. Go to Carolla.com. That's adamcarolla.com for all the live dates. Alicia Krause, let's give you a plug.
Give me a plug?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can see me on the CNNs and the Fox Newses and Instagram and Washington Examiner.
And Dr. Phil podcast over at Podcast One. Check that out. Until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Dr. Phil and Alicia Krause saying mahalo.